सेम एज यूजुअल लिखा।
यूजुअल
सेम एज
ये जितने भी मीनिंग हैं, लाइक हेलो लिखा तो उसको लिखो हाथ से, पेन लो दूसरा, ये लो
लिखा तो है।
तुम खुद लिखो उधर, अपने आप से हाथ से लिखो तब याद रहेगा। हेलो की स्पेलिंग ये लिखी है। हिंदी में क्यों लिख रहे हो? क्यों उधर नहीं बैठ पा रहा? पैर नीचे करके, चलो नीचे करो पहले। बैठो।
आगे तक पहुंच नहीं रहा। Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, Ambaji. Example, good morning, Ambaji, good morning, Daddy. Good afternoon, Ambaji, good afternoon, Daddy. हाँ?
लिख क्यों नहीं रहे हो?
लिखा है।
ये मॉर्निंग तुमने ये क्यों नहीं लिखा? चलो इधर बैठ के लिखो। चलो
चाचू, चाचू, मेरी एक एप्लीकेशन लिख दो।
किस चीज़ की?
क्या नाम है, मेरे फिजिक्स में नंबर कम आए थे तो सर ने बच्चों को खड़ा कर रखा, जो बच्चे एप्लीकेशन देते जा रहे हैं कि अगली बार से 50% से ज़्यादा होंगे तो उन्हें बैठा लेना। एक आधे क्या नाम 1 घंटे पूरे आज खड़े रहे, 1 घंटे ज़्यादा, 1 घंटे 40 मिनट।
फेल हो गए?
हैं? फेल नहीं हुए, 8 नंबर है।
कितने?
हैं? 20 में से।
बहुत आए।
बहुत सारे बच्चों के ऐसे ही आए।
सारे बच्चे से क्या मतलब है?
8, 7 आराध्य के आए 6 नंबर।
और 20 किसके आए?
20 किसी की नहीं है पूरी क्लास में।
और 18, 19 किसके आए?
18, 19 भी किसी की नहीं है।
तो कितने?
15 से सबके कम है।
तो 15 तो आए हैं ना किसी के।
हाँ,
फिर वो नहीं है।
ऐसा पढ़ाते ही नहीं सही, समझाते ही नहीं कुछ, कहाँ समझ में आएगा।
Then just a short disturb. His food, etc. Self starts becoming important from family. Should be the punishment rather than expulsion.
सब याद करके लिखो, याद करके हम सब सुनेंगे भी.
So it is that कि why law is made. So law
हम हिंदी में बोलेंगे, तुम इंग्लिश में उसका बोलोगे.
punishment you define, but still you cannot exactly define. So when FIR will no 3 statements. Civil charter rate limited. That's why it is said experiments done on animals and even on humans. So I told greatest good. Good afternoon, everyone. Sorry for unprecedented late because there was one unavoidable personal thing. Anyhow, today we have to take another aspect of determinants.
क्या बोला?
अथवा निम्न सरल तरीके से भी
अथवा निम्न सरल तरीके से भी आप परिचय करा सकते हैं, मतलब और किसी भी तरीके से परिचय करा सकते हो। लाइक तुम्हारे पापा हैं, किसी भी चीज़ मिले तुम्हारे बारे में बताएंगे, तुम कौन हो, बताएंगे माई सन, या कोई लड़की हो माई डॉक्टर, माई मदर।
So these are the factors which will influence, which is what we are going to explain.
Voice variation.
Yes, so voice is not so clearly audible.
नाइस टू मीट यू लिखा है, तो जैसे किसी व्यक्ति का नेम भी ले सकते हैं ना, नाइस टू मीट यू चाचू, ये हाँ।
Now, is there any change in my voice?
It's fine.
The way it used to be yesterday, is it like that?
Yes, sir.
So let's take one by one. So far we were talking definition part, what is ethics and how it is related to different aspects. But now we are talking a concept part, that when we judge anything as ethical or unethical, so there are some factors which influence those judgments. That's why it is said ethics is ethics. It is outside us, because these are the factors which will influence. So let's take that. What is deliberate human action? First, deliberate human action. Ethics.
और करो जहाँ तक हो जाए। इधर का टिक करो।
गुड नाइट नहीं बोला था, शायद जी लिखा है, शाम से रात 12 बजे तक गुड इवनिंग, गुड नाइट नहीं बोला रहता।
बोल सकते हो 8 बजे के बाद।
So, ethics does not scrutinize all human conducts. Ethics scrutinizes those human conducts which can be considered deliberate. Deliberate human conduct is considered. So, we consider any, let's say, human action as deliberate if there is knowledge or awareness. Means one is aware. One is aware of one's action. Like suppose any person is acting, so whether the person has knowledge, understanding, and in full knowledge he is doing that, acting that. So this then choices, whether people have choices to act. And voluntariness is act of willingness or unwillingness. Are you willing to act? You are not willing to act. So this you will understand by some examples. Like let's take a civil servant. If you take example, so like a civil servant. So it is presumed that he has knowledge about conduct rules, So it is presumed that he has knowledge about conduct rules. Hence, note, right? Which unlawful. Unlawful act. Now, this is the knowledge part. So a civil servant cannot say that oh, he is not knowledgeable of this, he does not know this conduct rule, he was not aware of. So that excuse will not work. It is expected you have knowledge. Now let's that civil servant is Mr. A. So Mr. A is, let's say, that offered bribe. Mr. A is offered bribe. Now, situation can be like this, that his knowledge that the bribe is unlawful, and second is that voluntariness. How the voluntariness will work? Voluntariness. So how this voluntariness will work? So whether he is willing to take bribe, or not. So whether he is willing to take bribe or not. How you will know it? By his response. He says clearly, no, or right, no clear response. He has no clear response, like accepts. So neither accepts nor rejects, or let's say that he does not take, but let's say no clear response, or he does not take. He does not take, but it says to give bribe to someone, means bribe money to someone who is not a civil servant. So conduct rule will not apply.
Excuse.
बहाना देना
He himself does not take the bribe, rather someone else takes that
नहीं
bribe.
बोलते हैं एक्सक्यूज मी
This.
अच्छा हाँ.
So we'll
Excuse
explain
me.
what is
सभी तरीके से किसी का ध्यान
Just
अगर
say that.
तुम
Free.
खड़ा हो तुमको निकलना है जगह नहीं है
Excuse me. अब किसी से बात करनी तो भी
Does
excuse
he
me.
have a choice?
कोई खड़ा है उससे बात करनी. Excuse me.
लिख रहे हो ये कहाँ लिखे तुमने
A choice.
चलो ये यहाँ से लिखो
Right. To accept,
हर एक चीज़ को लिख के करो यार
reject.
तो एक नोट ढूंढो उसमें लिखे हैं.
उसी में लिखो
So certainly there will be a choice. This you should know that. That is not the point. Main point is this. Act of voluntariness. What is this? Suppose he say clear no. When he is saying clear no, very clearly he says that no, bribe is wrong, you should not give it, and henceforth also you should not offer, otherwise we will take legal actions. So suppose if this is a response, so then let's say that willingness here, right, willingness is unwilling to take bribe. This is a case where you are willing to take bribe. So you are willing to take bribe, but you are not clearly speaking. But you are willing. Right. Many times you should know that people are willing to eat some of the tasty foods, but because of their bad health, they cannot eat. So there is willingness. Many times you are willing to study, but the time, disturbance, other things are not letting you to focus. But you are willing. So this is how willingness and unwillingness are related to. And you have to take into consideration this voluntariness. And that is how, let's say that the free will concept choice. So when one is knowledgeable that the bribe is illegal, still one is taking bribe, it means he is aware. Second, there is willingness because the person is not rejecting it. And third is that there is a free will choice. Yes, in some situation you cannot have a choice. That is called that someone has put gun to your, let's say that this head and forehead, and he says that either you take bribe or I will shoot you. So in that situation, saving life can be important. So that is how you don't have a choice. So you will accept the bribe. What we are trying to say, when human is acting, so that action is taken into consideration. How the human has acted, whether the human has acted in deliberate way or human has acted in indeliberate way. When the human has acted in indeliberate way out of ignorance due to lack of awareness, not aware of, it happens by chance, so you know also that that kind of conducts are generally also forgiven in our society, or you have a different approach to that kind of human action. Like let's say that someone, you are going in metro and someone, let's say that he steps into on your feet, so and it is indeliberate, it just happened by a matter of chance. So you forgive that person. But if someone does deliberately, you know what happens. So similarly, let's say that many things, let's say slip of tongue. Slip of tongue can happen because of chance. But if someone deliberately, let's say, is bad mouth person, uses abusive language, so then it is deliberate. So when there is a deliberate human action, it is subject to scrutiny. This you should know. And there are certain situations in which human action may not be deliberate because human faces different types of challenge. Like if a person is not in good health, so person may not be able to execute a desirable conduct. If person is ignorant, then also. If person is, let's say, having a strong, let's say that desire or a temperament also. Some people are short-tempered. So when people are short-tempered, so they can have, let's say, bad behavior at times. And once you know that person over a period of time, so you, let's say that you forgive that person when he behaves bad because of short temper. Because a person who is short temper can have bad behavior, later on he realizes and he seeks also forgiveness or says sorry. So temperament of a person also, there are different types of people, and you know many a time people become emotional. That time they tell something, so those things can become some exceptions. But the relevance of this concept of deliberate human action is that person is knowledgeable, is still doing wrong. Person is willing, but showing from outside, he is not willing. Many people are, that they are clever, they are very, let's say that different type, but from outside they show that they are very good person, they are very well behaved person. So many times your neighbors can also, let's say that behave in that way. They may appear they are very good to you, but from inside they are like enemy. And that is also their voluntariness is not appropriate. Means their willingness to trouble you is inherent in them. Even if they show good conduct, but it is not a good conduct. That is how the relevance. That is how the understanding that we have. Now its application is also, let's say that its application is basically in case study or in some theory section when you face a particular question, so you have to take that into consideration. As a concept it is not going to be asked, but it has its application. Like let's say that there are two aspects. Other example let me give. So generally we give another example of marriage.
Sets.
To further explain it, marriage it can be arranged and it can be love affair.
ये तो हो गए सारे
Three factors will differ.
आते हैं
Now, in both, let's say that we have, let's take Mr. A.
आज सेट्स
थोड़े बहुत आते हैं सेट्स तो पूरा हो गया कंप्लीट चेक
So, in both, let's say that
ये
we have
आज
knowledge.
खत्म हो
They have
गया
निकल लेते
सम ऑफ द
knowledge is there.
इनका कर लेते
But if
डेसिमल
you
पॉइंट
take
को
arranged
डेसिमल
marriage, in arranged marriage what
ये तो
happens?
फिर से भी सीख
The
लिया
girl basically,
फिर तुम्हें सर अच्छा पढ़ाते थे
has
यहाँ
been-
पे पता नहीं
girl
कौन सा
is
हम लोग
willing to get
कंप्लीट तो करी विश्वास से कुछ समझाते हैं नहीं सब चाहते लिखवाते रहते बस बोर्ड पर समझाते कुछ नहीं
but what he
समझना
lacks,
पड़ता
what she lacks? She lacks free will,
ये क्या होता है
choice.
एग्राफिक एक्सप्रेशन
अलजेब्रिक
In general, because in arranged marriage, generally the parents they bring that
ये
these
क्या
factors,
चीज़ होती है पढ़ा
and they play important role other than the.
जो एक्स की
Although
वैल्यू
male
क्या
situation is different. So
अलग
she
अलग
lacks
वेरिएबल
free
होता
will,
है
that is lacks choices.
यही
And let's
टेक्निक
say that
पढ़ाएंगे
even if she
चैप्टर
is
में
willing
आपके
to marry,
टीचर भी
she is knowledgeable,
पढ़ाएंगे
but what is lacking is her free will
लिखवाते रहते
in this. And therefore, when there is arranged marriage, so who is held responsible for this? Parents. If anything happened wrong, so parents are held responsible. Because they have played important role, not the girl. Let's take in this. In this, there is
Sets हो
also
गए?
knowledge.
हाँ हाँ
और कल क्या पढ़ाया है परसों
Then
ये अलजेब्रिक
there
एक्सप्रेशन
is
ये नहीं
the
पढ़ा
girl has also so free will.
मैं पढ़ाई नहीं जाएगा
क्यों
That's why because it is based on their both
हाँ कितने गए
agreement, consensus, etc. So there is a free will.
उधर से
The girl
दुकान
has
बंद
the
करके
choice
आए
of
हुए
it's
हैं
her choice, and there is also
अरे
willingness.
कह दियो बोलने की बात नहीं दी कहते तुम
Therefore, in this case, you should know that
इधर से
if anything happens wrong,
आज देखो ये क्वेश्चन लगाए थे मेरे को यहाँ सर में आए
so
थे
what
मैथ
happens?
वाले टॉपिक
Parents
बहुत
they
बड़ा
play.
पढ़ाते
सुनो अलजेब्रिक एक्सप्रेशन में क्या होता है अलजेब्रिक एक्सप्रेशन क्या
Just
बोलो
situation is a point.
अलजेब्रिक एक्सप्रेशन
Generally, it happens in our society.
x+5
Isn't it?
+25 ये लिखा है अलजेब्रिक एक्सप्रेशन ठीक,
So
x प्लस
when
25
when let's
कुछ
say
कुछ भी मान लो,
love
तो ये होता है
affair,
वेरिएबल,
marriage
क्या
starts
होता है
becoming stressful. So
ये होती है
parents
कांस्टेंट,
will say
मतलब
to
कोई
the
वैल्यू
girl
जब दी
that
गई हो
you face
तो
now
कांस्टेंट मतलब
because it
ये
was
यही
your
रहेगी,
choice.
ये चेंज
It
होगी,
means
ये कुछ भी हो
you
सकता है,
are responsible for your
1 2 3
action
4 5
because
7
it
8 9
was
10
a
कुछ भी हो
deliberate
सकता है।
action of
मतलब इसकी
yours.
वैल्यू निकालनी पड़ती है।
But if you take in this situation and anything wrong happens, so
जैसे
situation is
क्वेश्चन
just
पहला दिया
opposite.
गया है,
The girl will blame parents.
क्वेश्चन पहला दिया
That
गया है,
you had, let's say that
राजू इज
chosen
11
that,
ईयर ओल्ड, राजू जो है
this rishta
अभी
was
11 साल का
because of
है,
you, I was not willing.
फाइंड हिज एज आफ्टर
This way you can understand.
राजू अभी कितने साल का है?
this, let's say
Yeah.
the concept
Raju
is
is
special,
11 years old.
voluntariness and free
ठीक।
will. And they will be up to
क्या लिखा है?
राजू इज 11 ईयर ओल्ड।
फाइंड हिज एज आफ्टर 5 ईयर, मतलब 5 साल बाद वो
5 ईयर नहीं है वो, ए बी सी वो दिए थे।
ठीक है, हाँ पता है, फाइंड हिज एज आफ्टर 5 ईयर, मतलब एक क्वेश्चन पूछ रहा है उसकी एज 5 ईयर 5 साल बाद कितनी होगी,
5 ईयर बाद
तो अभी कितने का है 11 का, 5 साल बाद कितने का हो जाएगा
16।
16 ऐड कर दो। अब अगर दिया जाए फाइंड हिज एज बिफोर 5 ईयर, 5 साल पहले उसकी एज क्या थी,
5 साल पहले
तो 11 माइनस
5
5 कितना हो जाएगा 6। फाइंड हिज एज आफ्टर 7 ईयर्स, तो 11 में कितना ऐड करोगे, कितना ऐड करोगे
7
ठीक है।
18
फाइंड हिज एज आफ्टर x ईयर, तो 11 में कितना ऐड करोगे,
11 में
x ऐड करोगे, बस लिख दोगे, समझ गए, ठीक है। अब दूसरा क्वेश्चन करो, हाँ बिफोर मतलब एगो, बिफोर मतलब एगो, आफ्टर यही हो गया। अब ये बताओ कैसे लिखोगे, मिस्टर शर्मा इज 14 ईयर्स ओल्ड नाउ, अभी वो कितने के हैं 40 ईयर्स, फाइंड हिज एज 7 ईयर एगो, 7 ईयर एगो मतलब 40 में क्या करोगे,
40 में 7 ईयर्स कम कर
दोगे। अब दूसरा बोलो
कितना बचा,
हाँ 33,
7 ईयर्स कम बचा
33, फाइंड हिज एज बिफोर
10 ईयर्स,
Ago.
10 ईयर्स 30
बाई ईयर
वाई है, तो वाई माइनस 40 माइनस वाई
40 माइनस बाई,
इज नॉट सेम एज वाई माइनस 40।
हाँ देयर आर 12
12 crayons in a set।
crayons in a set, how many crayons are there in the following set, 2 set,
2 सेट है।
कोई एक सेट में 12 क्रेयॉन है, कोई एक डब्बा है मान लो, उसमें कोई 12 चीज़ें हैं,
12 crayons कलर होते हैं,
हाँ कुछ भी हो, एक कोई डब्बा है उसमें 12 चीज़ें हैं, ठीक है। एक सेट में, एक सेट मतलब ये है उसमें कोई 12 क्रेयॉन्स हैं, 2 सेट में कितने क्रेयॉन्स हो जाएंगे
22
24, और 3 सेट में
3 सेट में 26 सही।
नाखून भी सोचा कि कितने का मल्टीप्लाई करोगे,
3
किसमें 12 में, ठीक है, और x में
x का x
में कितने का मल्टीप्लाई करोगे,
मल्टीप्लाई 12,
ठीक है। देयर आर 30 एप्पल्स इन अ बास्केट,
मतलब अभी इसमें वैल्यू नहीं निकाली,
हैं
x की वैल्यू
अभी नहीं निकाली जाएगी, लिखा है देयर आर 30 एप्पल्स इन अ बास्केट, कोई बास्केट है, बास्केट समझते हो, उसी बास्केट में कितने एप्पल्स हैं 30, हाउ मेनी एप्पल्स विल ईच चाइल्ड गेट, हर एक बच्चे को कितने एप्पल्स मिलेंगे, इफ़ द एप्पल्स आर शेयर्ड इक्वली अमंग द फॉलोइंग, अगर हर एक बच्चे को इक्वल मतलब बराबर ही एप्पल्स मिल रहे हैं, इफ़ फॉलोइंग 3 चिल्ड्रन, 3 बच्चे हैं, तो 3 बच्चे मतलब 30 एप्पल हैं, 3 बच्चे को बांटने हैं, 30 एप्पल हैं, एक डब्बे में 30 एप्पल हैं, 30/3, 6 बच्चे को बांटने हैं 30/6, n बच्चे को बांटने हैं, n क्या है वेरिएबल 30/n, ठीक है। इफ़ देयर आर x कैंस इन अ जूस ऑफ बॉक्स, एक बॉक्स है, कैन नहीं, कैन रखी है उसमें, कैन जूस वाली कैन रखी है, x कैंस इन अ जूस, हाउ मेनी कैंस विल ईच चाइल्ड गेट इफ द कैंस आर शेयर्ड इक्वली अमंग द फॉलोइंग, कितनी कैंस मिलेगी अगर 5 बच्चे में x कैन है तो x/5, समझ रहे, अभी क्या था, ये 30 एप्पल, जैसे 30 एप्पल दिया गया वही ऐसे x दी गई है। चलो
तो क्या नाम है
x
इसका, हो
upon
जाएगा
5
x अपॉन 5
x upon
x
12
अपॉन 12 x अपॉन y। ये बच्चों इसका मीन्स क्या होता है?
ऑपरेशन एडिशन, ऐड 3 to 4, 3 को 4 में जोड़ना है, 3 + 4, अलजेब्रा, ऐड x to 4, x + 4 या 4 + x ऐसे करके,
4
सब्ट्रैक्शन,
करेंगे तो क्या होगा?
सब्ट्रैक्ट 6 from 19, सब्ट्रैक्शन 6 from 19 मतलब 6 में 19 में से कितना घटाना, 6। ये नहीं कि 6 - 19 लिख दिया, ठीक। मल्टीप्लिकेशन,
ये
क्या दिया गया, ये समझ गए? हाँ?
ऑथेंटिक। तो अच्छा मतलब 4 + x करेंगे तो इसका वो आंसर क्या आएगा?
x प्लस आंसर कुछ नहीं आएगा, x वेरिएबल जब तक कोई वैल्यू ना दी जाए, x + 4 या 4 + x कुछ भी लिख सकते हो, ये नहीं ले सकते जैसे दिखाया गया है, सब्ट्रैक्ट 6 from 19, 19 से 6 घटाना है, तो 19 - 6, 6 - 19 नहीं लिख सकते, ठीक ठीक ही हो गया।
ये क्या है? ये
नहीं लिखा है मतलब ये इसके इक्वल नहीं है, ये होता है इक्वल, ये होता है नॉट इक्वल।
और ये 19 -
लिखा है सब्ट्रैक्ट
a y जे कोई से नहीं।
हाँ, सब्ट्रैक्ट a from 19, बोलो इसमें क्या लिखोगे?
सब्ट्रैक्ट a from 19, 19 - 8,
तो इसको a - 19 लिख सकते हो?
a - 19 नहीं।
हाँ नहीं लिख सकते, ठीक है। पावर x इंटू एक्स, देखो इधर देखो, x इंटू एक्स इंटू एक्स 3 बार दिया गया, तो मतलब x की पावर 3 जब इंटू में दिया जाए, y इंटू वाई मतलब y की पावर 3, ये होती है बेस, ये होता है पावर, ठीक समझ गए? अगर ये दिया गया x इंटू एक्स इंटू वाई क्या बताओ, क्या लिखोगे?
x इंटू एक्स
इंटू वाई,
y इंटू वाई।
हाँ
तो
x कितनी बार दिया गया?
x 2 बार,
x की पावर
2,
और y कितनी बार दिया गया?
3 बार,
3 बार है,
2 बार,
तो y की पावर
2।
x इंटू एक्स इंटू एक्स इंटू एक्स मतलब 5 बार x दिया गया है और 5 बार y दिया गया, क्या लिखोगे?
तो क्या नाम x इंटू 5
x की पावर 5
और
Into?
6 इंटू y इंटू 5,
y की पावर 5।
y की पावर।
चलो अब ये एक्सरसाइज करो,
एक्सरसाइज हमने गलत कर दी, अब सब दूसरा हो रहा था, सब नहीं कराया था उसे चैप्टर कम्बिनेशन करती।
चलो पहले ये सारे करो।
Blind when we scrutinize some of those things, right, which will be taken into consideration while considering any human action as ethical or unethical. This, is it clear? Are you able to understand?
अभी आपने ये तो समझा, सिर्फ ये समझा।
Yes, sir.
Yes. So let's
So when the girl is willing to get married, so she's willing. That means her free will is not lacking for that.
No, it is voluntariness. Free will is related to choice.
Sure.
So here she does not have a choice because choices are limited. Choices are provided by parents.
Understood.
So when choices are provided by parents, you know that arranged marriage on the girl side many a time happens on the basis of compromise.
Yes, sir.
Right.
So it is these really demarcate between free will and void will, sir.
Yes, see, free will means it is about means it is related to suppose you are acting in a particular situation. So whether you have a number of alternatives to choose. Okay. So do you have that number of alternatives to choose? This and also let's say that what I can say. So I got disturbed by this. Although you should show yourself, right? It's a long time to see you. Anyhow, basically in this class nobody shows face, so it becomes a bit challenging also for us. The question is that what we are saying, the choices. Let's take. You may have optional. You may have taken any optional. What is your optional?
Anthropology.
Yes, I was asking to Vishnu. Let's say, what is your option?
Sure. My option is sociology.
Sociology. Now let's say while selecting sociology, so did you have that time number of choices?
Yes, I had choices.
Yes, you had choices. So it is related to free will.
Okay, yes, sir.
It is related to free will. Let's suppose that there is a person who wants to appear in forest service also, wants to appear in engineering service also, and in IAS also. Suppose he is constrained or she is constrained by these three factors, therefore the person is forced to opt any, let's say, subject of his academic background, which is science.
Okay, sir.
So this can be a situation, let's say, his, let's say, free will is less than what you have to free will.
Yes, sir.
So free will is related to choice. Now, we were saying that in arranged marriage, so you'll find that since parents decide the relations, the girl has almost no free will or less free will. But in case of this affair, it was your choice. As well as the person, means both persons' choice. There is no any constraint on choices. You have willingly accepted this. The choice option was, let's say, that not anyway constrained. But so that is how the difference between free will in this case and that case. Now, when we say willingness, so let's say in both cases, let's say any person who reaches to a marriage age, that person is willing to get married. Any person reaches to the age of marriage, let's say, or anyone who is 21 plus, then he will be willing to get married. So there is no question of voluntariness. All are willing to get married. Yes. So all are willing to get married, but whom you want to get married and who will decide that?
इसमें वैल्यू प्लस की हो तो माइनस की हो,
whom you want to get married and who will decide? In a fair case, you have a choice, but in arrange you do not have a choice. In general, I am talking traditional family example. Although in arrange also people have lots of choice in some, let's say, exceptional cases, but we are talking in general. Right. So that is the difference between what we say voluntariness and what we say free will. Right. And that things we take into consideration, especially in case studies when various types of situations that you face, and there you analyze whether human action is ethical or not. Okay. Right?
So in the example of marriage, how the free will help us to determine whether the action is ethical or not?
Yes, because let's say a human should have a choice, liberty, equality, freedom. Right. This is how we can say that. Any mature human. No, it's not like that. We are not saying in that way. We are saying that basically we are showing two different situations in which we are trying to explain you the concept. This is our, let's say, purpose, to explain the concept so that you can understand the difference between voluntariness and free will. We are not trying to judge here which action is ethical at this stage. That's why we will not say either side which one is ethical. Getting my point? We are simply explaining the concept through an example. And both are ethical, both are unethical. It depends on which type of relations or situations are. Right. If a girl is unwilling and then she is forced to marry a person, right, she does not, let's say, that lie, certainly it is unethical. Right. But it is part of our social norms. No, a girl should accept what the parents decide. And a good girl is one, even boy is one who acts as per what parents decide. That is our society. Right. So which will teach you later on. We are very different society. The parents want that you should act what they decide. हो सकता है आपका optional उन्होंने decide किया हो. So the question is that this kind of society you have, where elder people want, and it is a social norm. It is not an ethical standard. Try to understand this. It is a social norm. We, out of respect, we follow what parents decide. And generally, we do not want to go against their decision. Let's take Western countries. Parents themselves will not like to decide for their children. Rather, you decide. But again, we will go in a different. We are not talking social norms and other things. We'll take further attitude. We were just simply trying to explain what is this knowledge you understand. Basically, there is a confusion between understanding voluntariness and free will. So that I was trying to explain through an example. Yes. So, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
We'll take a case study later on, but let's take example, parents. So, one let's say that parents, they decide to sell one child out of 3 children. Now, it is a real incident whether the conduct of parents can be considered unethical or ethical. You decide. Should we consider the conduct ethical or unethical?
Sir, it's unethical. it depends on the situation which made parents to sell the child. If it is like any couples who did not have any children, if they are planning to give to them, then it would be ethical.
Yes.
So what is the age of the child, sir?
See, child is a child, right? That's why we are eating children.
That is acceptable, sir.
Sir, first of all, having how many childs depend on the parents only. If they are not capable of nourishing all the childs, then they must have planned accordingly. So their action was deliberate, having a number of childs. Then they sought to sell one of them, which is completely unethical. You must not sell your child. And suppose if they are giving to someone who need, then simply give them. It's not like selling your child for some money or kind of things. And where is the will of that child, whether he wants to go or not? They are not considering that even. So in order
Accepted. Let's.
According to law, welfare of child is we are in the situation.
Largely, people will say it is unethical, right? Yes. Will you say anything in defense of parents?
So they are struggling to survive. That's why they need some kind of money.
Right. So therefore, let's say that. See, basically, when you write your answer, means your approach, and when you only focus on this side, it is very obvious. Anyone will say it is unethical. Right. It is very obvious that anyone will say it is unethical because selling child is simply it is inhuman, also not only unlawful. But let's say you cannot write one side. We told one day ethics. Ethics is about
the length of a yellow ribbon
critical analysis.
is y length. The yellow ribbon and
Ethics is about critical thinking. Right. So critical thinking means you have to think from the other perspective also, not one side. One-sided thinking should
the
not be.
length of the green ribbon.
One-sided thinking
उसकी length है
is not critical thinking.
7. Yellow ribbon is longer than green ribbon. अगर yellow ribbon
Now,
बड़ा है
to take a decision, to understand, that is how you have to apply
What is the
different
difference
things. You have to know
between
whether they are
length
selling deliberately,
in terms of y
whether it is a deliberate attempt, they are
y
selling just, let's say that they are in ignorance or intoxicated.
y
We do not
minus
know.
7.
So whether they are deliberately selling aware, yes, they are selling their children, this, then you go to the next call. Are they really willing to sell the child or they don't have choice? So they are unwilling, but they don't have choice for their livelihood. Why they are selling their child? Whether the child has certain problem, health issue, they do not want to have that child, it is unwanted child, or let's say that some children have some, let's say that health problems, or it is due to just they are not able to have their livelihood, support their livelihood. So you have to look from different perspectives. That is called critical thinking, and hence you have to seek whether they are willing to sell. It shows they are selling, so certainly they may be willing, or if they are not willing, but still they don't have a choice, livelihood. So it is due to livelihood. So it is a forced choice. Many a time it is still told that forced choice. The forced choice means lack of free will. But there is a called, let's say they have, it is deliberate. It is deliberate. And second is called willingness, unwilling. Let's take that, they are unwilling. Nobody will like to sell his or her own child. So deliberate, unwilling, but lack of free will. Yes, so we were writing here basically. So deliberate, other aspects. So hence, when you say something, and you are saying something, so you have to have some basis to say that. This is the approach in this paper. That is called ethical answers. So you adopt an ethical method, ethical tools, and you scrutinize it. So you start using the jargons of ethics, like say free will, voluntariness, deliberate action. If you are not using them, not writing in this way, then you will write a legal answer. The person will first use that it is against traffic, there is a law which let's say that is against human traffic, it is act of human trafficking. So a person will directly relate to human trafficking and prohibition of human trafficking. So you are thinking more in a legal way. But when we say that it is, we will seek whether it is deliberate. It is deliberate, you are saying, and unwillingness. It is, I am taking on my side unwillingness, but they know they do not have choice, to lack free will. So two conditions are not meeting. One condition is meeting. So can we say it is unethical? Now let's give other factors. That's why other factors will also come. Other factors that we have written: the purpose, circumstances, will also be taken into consideration. So we are just talking one. Basically, parents, they were poor, they were forced to sell because they did not have livelihood support. So they were facing starvation. So starvation and to support, let's say that. Now they have, let's say, two means parents, 2 persons plus 2 children. So to support 4, they were selling 1. Sorry to tell in that way. So greatest good to greatest number in a given situation.
What I have now. So like whatever the situation might be, they are like modifying the child like
Yes, yes. We are not having full scrutiny. We will take later on the same example. We still do not have the full scrutiny. Right.
So also girls are the one who are being said most of the time. So that's why.
Yes. So let's say that the purpose of telling this is to apply in your scrutiny, in your thinking, how a human conduct is scrutinized from ethical perspective. Like this. It is still not going to help you in the final decision because there are many other factors. There are many other determinants. Right? And that is what we have to understand. That is how we have to apply it. So when you write like saying deliberate, human action, unwillingness, free will, so it makes your answer look like ethics paper or ethical answer. So again, till that, still at this level, my purpose is to simply explain them, not to decide whether action is ethical or unethical. Ultimately, the end result will be that it is unethical. But the process will not be one way. The process will not be one way. You have to see the other side also. Right. This, anyhow, that is called recognition. That is called critical thinking. So, yes.
So when you consider the deliberateness of these actions, you basically made some assumptions that the child might be having some health issues, or maybe the person to whom they are selling might be promising some standard of health child.
No. Yes. See, there are lots of benefits now. If I suppose you are asking, see, it is unethical because you cannot sell human to make that means to achieve some end. It is a low standard of behavior. It is not a high standard of behavior. This,
Yes.
and it is unlawful as per law. So if you want to live your life, support your life by adopting such low means which will help you in survival, so you are setting a very low benchmark. First, second, for the sake of survival, you cannot adopt any means. So even if you are starving, but you cannot sell because it is not setting any benchmark.
So when we are writing to the perspective of two sides, from parent side and from child side, so when we are giving some arguments to defend the parents' action, suppose that might be some...
Yes, we can give defense of parents in terms of their circumstances, immediate support to life, greatest good to greatest number, utilitarian philosophy. Then the child, if child is adopted by anyone, suppose they are selling, but let's say that the child is adopted by any good person, so the child can be, let's say that reared, nurtured in better way, the child can get good schooling, and child can grow and let's say become a successful person hypothetically. The child in hindsight in future will help the parents and other children.
So my basic issue is that...
That is the positive one. That is the other side of the story. The other side of the story is that it is certainly not ethical, yes.
So when you are analyzing it ethically, can you make assumptions that his life may be improved and such that he might be in the health issue?
No. Yes. When here I did not mention anything, simply to see your reactions. How you react, you are reacting in different way. But when a case study is given, it gives you information.
All the critical analysis will be done based on those facts nowadays.
No, facts plus your other knowledge because it is not a comprehension test. Only in a comprehension test, whatever the information given in the comprehension, you have to take decision. In case studies, you also bring addition to on the basis of your knowledge. But then, yes.
Sir, the essence of these parents is, can be gravely, can be criticized to that extent. Can we defend the essence to utilitarian?
No, you can defend by utilitarian, but utilitarian is not a very high standard of philosophy. Kantian is the highest standard of philosophy. There are certain standards, one day we told, let's say that we have got...
Yeah.
Good, better, best, and all are right. So, Kantian philosophy it is highest level of standard, which is difficult to follow.
Rahul is 10 years old. Rahul
So we'll talk that later on. Let me summarize what we are saying.
as old as Rahul.
If it is clear to you. So let's
Rahul कितने साल का है?
And
और
The relevance
नरेश
of- the relevance of-
दुगना है उसका, मगर अगर
Deliberate human
राहुल
action. Yes.
2 साल का है तो नरेश कितना है?
Yes, ask if you have any question.
4 साल का
4 साल का। तो मतलब तो राहुल कितने साल का है? And तो नरेश कितने का हुआ? दुगना है मतलब 2
That will not change anything.
ठीक है।
It is act of self.
Younger than
Isn't it? Right. It is
Naren
act
is
of
twice
self.
as old as
And it will
Rahul.
not change anything. Right. But quality of action, let's say that what you are saying, it will remain the same.
यंग छोटी है नरेंद्र से।
Anyhow, it is the beginning classes. and you have lots of things to be cleared. Gradually, let's say that your understanding will improve. So that is how we start. You'll ask good questions. Anyhow, so let's start. The relevance of deliberate human action is that it helps in enhancing understanding about human actions. Enhancing understanding about human actions.
Old as Rahul.
Human actions.
नरेंद्र की क्या एज हुई? नरेंद्र की क्या एज है?
नरेंद्र की
And
2
only deliberate actions. Only deliberate actions in general. In general are
Renu
considered
age 2 years
appropriate
younger
for
than नरेंद्र.
ethical
नरेंद्र की क्या
scrutiny.
एज है? 2 और
Ethical
रेनू
scrutiny.
है 2 साल छोटी है नरेंद्र से.
And it is a well recognized fact.
2n minus 2.
It is a well recognized fact. Also in the field of law,
क्या पूछा जा रहा है बताओ?
law
Express
or legal jurisprudence,
Renus पढ़ो.
legal jurisprudence,
Express
legal
Renu's
philosophy.
age in term of
That-
variable n.
Quantum of punishment depends on.
2n minus
Quantum
2
of punishment depends
कौन?
on
Renu.
गया?
Renu is 2.
deliberate or indeliberate aspects
ऐसे
of human
एक शब्द
actions.
पढ़ के करो.
Human actions. Like
पढ़ो.
a planned,
जैसे जो
cold-blooded
लिखा है उसको लिखते
murder.
रहो. अगर n है तो n
Plan,
लिखो.
cold-blooded murder.
इसके सामने अगर
Meanwhile,
नरेंद्र है, रेनू है, कुछ
capital
भी है तो
punishment.
उसके सामने ये लो.
Mona scored
But a
78
model
marks in Hindi
which
and
happens
M
just
marks
by
in
chance.
हाँ
maths.
देखो मोना के
Road
इसमें
accidents.
कितने हैं? मोना के
Road accidents,
मैथ में ऐसे ऐसे लिख
or
दिया
in
करो.
process of doing something,
मोना
Mona H is
क्या?
In white.
Hindi.
मोना हिंदी
invites
में कितने हैं?
lesser punishment.
और मैथ में कितने ऐसे करके लिखो.
Lesser punishment.
Mona Hindi.
मोना के
Since ethics is scrutiny of human actions, it is important to know. Whether the human is acting in full knowledge, and he is willing to act,
मोना के हिंदी में
and
कितने
he
हैं?
has choices.
मोना स्कोर 78 मार्क्स
Choices.
हिंदी और एम
In
Because there can be the factors,
is equal to
मैथ में
there
कितने
can be the
maths
factors
में M.
like first ignorance
78 plus M.
or lack of
Shine.
knowledge.
अब क्वेश्चन पढ़ो क्या
First
पूछा गया.
ignorance or lack of knowledge.
What is her total score
Second,
in both
temperament.
subjects? 78 plus
Temperament, like
M.
a short-tempered person. Short-tempered
आंसर
person.
है नहीं ये try
Next.
out to है.
इसका आंसर नहीं दिए गए.
का नहीं
Ill health,
खुद से करो ये.
हाँ तो इसका आंसर
तो
ये होगा.
78 plus M होगा.
हाँ.
which
If the marks in math
will affect
If the marks scored in
Deliberateness of
maths
human
are
conduct.
more than the marks in
Deliberateness of
Hindi,
human conduct.
then what is the difference between the marks?
पता क्या?
for instance,
अगर
मतलब
उसके मैथ
If
में
a
जो
city
मार्क्स
has
है वो ज्यादा
imposed-
है तो हिंदी में
if
कितने
a city has
क्या
established new
क्या
traffic
लिखो?
rules,
मैथ्स में मार्क्स कितने हैं उसके?
traffic rules,
M
हैं?
M
और हिंदी में कितने
people
हैं?
are not aware.
78
तो उनका डिफरेंस क्या हुआ?
People are not aware.
मतलब the Mona scored
And they first time
78
break traffic
mark
rules.
in Hindi and M mark in
Hence,
maths.
तो क्या इसका एक्सप्रेशन में क्या लिखा?
ethically they should not be
Expression
penalized.
इसका क्या लिखेंगे? Mona है
That's why
तो
government
अरे एक्सप्रेशन में क्या लिखोगे?
creates awareness about its new traffic rules,
उसके क्या पूछा पहले
and
से
then
इसका?
it brings into effect.
If the marks
if
brings
the
it
marks
to that.
scored in maths are more than the marks in Hindi, then what is the difference between
So I
the
guess you
Difference
marks?
have
मतलब क्या
this
होगा?
clarity. Is it clear about this
Difference
deliberate human
मतलब कारण
actions?
अलग अलग.
Like say there can be different situations.
Minus
Although people
difference
can masquerade it also,
पूछ
feign
रहा है.
it, means lie also,
Plus
pretend also.
difference पूछ रहा है.
But suppose a person has come
Difference क्या
from
होगा?
outside Delhi and he does not know about the traffic rules in
78
Delhi
minus M.
and he breaks
इससे
traffic
पर
rules.
question क्या
So
लिखा?
police wala should not issue challan in first instance,
if the
provided
marks
police wala
scored in
has
maths
this
are
understanding
more
that the
than
person is
the
not
marks
pretending
in
or
Hindi,
lying.
उसमें क्या लिखा है? किस में जाता है?
Because you should not punish a
इसमें-
person if the person is not aware.
मार्क्स उसके क्या?
and
This, so that is how we can apply this knowledge differently.
क्वेश्चन पूछ क्या पूछा?
then what is the difference between the marks?
That is what it is. It is the experience of the police. That's why police will enforce law in summary. That's why law becomes problematic. The police enforces law in summary. Summary means anyone.
हाँ, तो ये लिखो.
Police is not supposed to distinguish whether you are outsider or Delhi. Means you are from Delhi. But ethically, it should not happen. This you should know. Legally, police has authority to
चलो
enforce.
आगे करो.
But ethically, suppose the person is really the person does not know about Delhi traffic rules, So then
X
if he
minus
is penalized,
5
so
less
certainly
than
it is not
X.
ethical. It can be legal.
5 less than X minus 5.
So practicing law has to convince over ethics.
Yes, because it is because the police cannot have that level of wherewithal capacity, and let's say that its
plus
ability
Y.
also, because it is constrained by
Y.
different factors. So you cannot have a police
Y
to think,
more
judge,
than-
and then penalize.
5 more than
By the
Y.
time many people will violate traffic and run away.
4X minus Y.
Who said prejudice in the?
Y
Yes, that is how it may give
subtracted
discretion to
from
police, and police may
4
start
times X.
misusing this.
Because sir,
Y
honestly,
subtracted over 4 times X.
and it was carrying 10 kg gold.
Yes, yes, yes.
25 kg was illegal.
2Y minus X upon Y.
Yes.
2
Recently,
the quotient
one
of
case has
X.
come. What do you say? One civil servant aspirant. She appeared in mains, and then her candidature was cancelled because she was not able to produce certificate on time. Because of COVID, she got her certificate, a final result in November last year, and due to delay in let's say that producing that certificate, her candidature has been cancelled. Right. Now let's say that what you say called it is in the court. Mercy has petition in the court. So the question is that see, law you cannot enforce uniformly. The UPSC has enforced this law. Even COVID-like unprecedented situation has not been taken into consideration. Right. Jabki government has itself delayed the examinations and board results and other things. They have themselves delayed it. What is the fault of a student? Let's say that. If university is conducting examination late, so what is the student fault? It should be between university and the UPSC, but it has become between UPSC and the student. So law, UPSC has authority to cancel the candidature. This. But again, let's say that you have to see, look different things. Let's write next, purpose. Second thing is purpose. So, it is your aim, intention. So, what is the intention behind human action? If selfless, self-interest, it is right.
क्या बना दिया?
Example, interpret the expression. Interpret the expression. 6x minus 1. Decreased क्या होता? Decreased.
डिक्रीज मतलब माइनस करना, कम कर देना.
Decrease by 1 subtracted from the 6 and x.
हाँ, इसको इंटरप्रेट करो. 1 is subtracted 6 times of x decreased by 1, or 1 is subtracted from the product of 6 times x.
6 and x. चाचू एगो मतलब कम छोटा.
हाँ, बिफोर. हाँ,
ये करे एक्सरसाइज 7.1
करो.
आफ्टर मतलब भी आफ्टर मतलब बाद में. हाँ
So taking the above things, calibration and purpose of the action can explain that example of calibration on the sea, where the movement was repeated by sailors.
Let's take this first, then we'll take your example. So, a person, let's say that it is a real incident, by the way. So, a person brings parents in Delhi before COVID, like say in January, February, March. So, a person brings parents and they were supposed to get health treatment in Delhi. His intention was right for improving their health. But then COVID strikes and both parents died. So, although sorry to give this example, but the question is a difference. This is how we find it. So, even if we have good intention, but we have bad consequence, this mismatch. So, in that situation, what should be done? So, when you have good intention, many times civil servants have good intention, but their actions result into losses to government. A civil servant.
5 years ago का क्या होगा? जैसे कि राजू 12 years
What?
old
To
का
control
है.
behavior of
5 years
protesters.
ago का 7 years ago हो जाएगा. ओल्ड ठीक है. तो
Behavior
5
of
years
protesters.
ago का क्या हो जाएगा?
Then let's say that to control because law and order is
5
important.
minus 5
Then let's say that the protesters they start creating trouble. Then police have to force.
Right, Anuj is in terms of the following expression.
That resulted to certain injuries.
17.
And even at times you know that there are deaths also.
मतलब आपने before बताया था.
So there are deaths. That is how let's say that there can be mismatch between your intention,
कितना हो जाएगा?
action and consequence. Hence its relevance is that while scrutinizing we will have to take into consideration this, what was the intention, what is the intention or the purpose behind the action. Ideally one should have good noble purpose and self-interest or selfless based, so that is how, but many times your actions consequence, so they are not in your control and that is how you are punished for that. Even if your intention is right. So there can be disciplinary actions also, even if it is not intended to harm people. But still there can be disciplinary action in terms of suspension, in terms of transfer. So that is what we need to understand about intention, which is very clear. It is not conceptually so complex to explain. Then let's take called nature of object. I will take your example. Let's first take physics. Nature of object. It is a bit complex to understand, not so complex. So nature of object. The first fact. Nature of object. First you should understand what is object.
How many groups?
So object indicates everything in our society. Living, non-living. Living, non-living. Okay. So anything, let's say, is an object. Now, such things have been classified. Objects have been classified by society with evolution.
चाचू
हाँ.
खाना खा लो.
So object classification can be categorized as positive, good, acceptable. That is called inherent quality. Let me write. Then we can say negative, bad, rejectable. Then we can say neutral object. So neither positive nor negative. Here nature depend on circumstances. Now nature, object natures, that is how nature we mean. Nature is related to quality of the object. Or characteristics, which I will say inherent. So nature means inherent quality or characteristics of object. So when we say green vegetables, inherently it has a good quality, and when we say junk foods, so this has a bad quality, inherently it's negative or nature. green vegetable, we say positive nature. Similarly, if you take the term beauty, so it is positive. Ugly, yes. So animals who do not harm, animals can harm. So how we get nature of this? It has evolved. If someone speaks truth, the truth has positive nature. Lie has negative nature. Giving help, so it is positive. So helping someone, it is a positive nature. Or we say charity. So help, charity. This can be positive. Selfish, so it is negative. Too much focus on self. So objects have been classified and you have developed your own classification in your mind. A certain level of good, bad knowledge you have developed in yourself about different, let's say your neighbors. So you know also who is a good neighbor, who is a bad neighbor. How you have known? So you have developed on the basis of your understanding, but that is not related to inherent nature. Inherent nature is the quality that he has been given, assigned, and let's say that there are some, let's say that objects which we like, some objects which we do not like. Like truth, its inherent quality is always, let's say that, positive, but lies, it has always negative. Now, why we are talking it? Because of circumstances. So because of circumstances, a person can lie to save life. Self. A person can lie to save life. Now, what you will say to that? Can we say that it is ethical action? Because person is lying to save life. So whether person action will be ethical? What do you think? So this you will know by, let's take a dilemma, Haynes' dilemma that we said that. Sorry. So we say it as Haynes' dilemma. So he is a person, right? Let's say husband of this is wife. Who is with? Who is with? And lives surgery for which suppose 10 lakh rupees needed. Office let's say 4 lakh he can manage. Right. High charges due to costly medicines. It is a very popular case, classic case. So high charges are due to costly medicines. Now he requests to hospital for help, but refuses. Then he is left with the choice. With choices. Either let wife dies or steal medicine. It is very more than 100 years old case. Don't talk about crowdfunding or ये जो आजकल चलता है. So that time उस समय ना तो crowdfunding था ना ही कोई funding था. Right. So now it is a situation. Like what he should do?
The first question to understand like means and ends. Is it right to take bad expression to prove that bad means?
To one by one all those things. Here we are trying to explain again what is the relevance of when we have to know nature of object. So let's say hard work has a positive nature. When people earn by hard work, they are appreciated, accepted. But when people earn by stealing, by manipulations, so it has a negative nature. The act of stealing has a negative nature. This now there is a situation a person is forced to either go for stealing medicine or to let wife die. So what he should do? He should steal medicine.
Steal medicine and let his wife live, and he should be punished by law.
Yes. Good, by the way, good view. So now there are again critical thinking. You have to have different types of thinking on that. Now we will say here, in case of nature of object, if actions are based on such aspects. So actions.
हाँ रोटी रोटी ले जाओ अभी
नहीं कुछ सामने आपको मार देगा। तो कुछ लोग ऐसे होते हैं कि खाली जॉब उनका एक ही टाइप का होता है कि बात सुनने की था, उसको ढूंढते हैं, उधर से उनका चालू होता है। सामने आपको मार देगा। तो कुछ लोग ऐसे होते हैं कि खाली जॉब उनका एक ही टाइप का होता है कि बात सुनने की था, उसको ढूंढते हैं, उधर से उनका चालू होता है।
तो लेफ्ट नहीं है।
क्यों?
आप ही बोलो।
क्यों?
पता नहीं।
हाँ।
तो लेफ्ट नहीं है। आप ही बोलो।
क्यों?
पता नहीं।
एडाप्टर कोई से ले लो, कोई सा ले लो, दादी वाला ले लो।
किसी के में नहीं।